Gaat u zitten. Please be seated. Dames en heren, ladies and gentlemen, geachte collega's, dear colleagues. Ik heet u van harte welkom op de openbare doctoraatsverdediging van Shahla Atapoor en verklaar de zitting voor geopend. Mevrouw Shahla Atapoor, Master of Science in Engineering from the University of Tartu in Estland, heeft aan de faculteit een proefschrift voorgelegd handelend over On Practical Threshold Protocols and Verifiable Secret Sharing, over praktische drempelprotocollen en verifieerbare geheimsplitsing. En dit tot het verkrijgen van de graad van dokter in de ingenieurswetenschappen. Zij zal dit proefschrift nu verdedigen en ik vraag aan de kandidaat eerst een uiteenzetting van ongeveer 45 minuten te geven over haar werk. Daarna zal er gelegenheid zijn tot het stellen van vragen en het maken van opmerkingen. Shahla, the floor is yours. 45 minutes about your work and then it's time for questions.
Thank you so much.
You need this microphone.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Yes, as you can see, the title of my thesis is On Practical Threshold Protocols and Verifiable Secret Sharing. I will start by some motivation why we need cryptographic protocols. Then I will talk about the issues of trust in these kind of systems. And then we'll talk about some backgrounds that we need for the follow-up sessions of this presentation. And at the end, I will go through some of key publications that we have and results in the thesis. From the past, we know people wanted to communicate with each other. The way that, the very basic way that they could found was like smoke signing. But this was not secure because everybody can eavesdrop, just look at the smoke and eavesdrop what you are communicating with. So crypto systems solved this problem by proposing encryption schemes. Encryption schemes are in two main way of symmetric encryption and public key encryption. Let's start by symmetric encryption. In symmetric encryption, we have two algorithms, keygen, encryption, and decryption. Keygen generates the key, sends to encryptor and decryptor, and then encryption algorithm using this secret key encrypts her message, basically hides her message, and then sends it to the other side. And decryption algorithm using the same key opens the box and learns the message. In public key encryption, key generator generates key pairs of public keys and secret key, and then sends public key and secret key to the person, the corresponding person, and sends the two corresponding persons. And then Alice, as an encryptor, picks one of those public key, encrypts her secret, her message, and sends it to the other side. The person who has the secret key associated to this public key is able just to open this message and learn this message, decipher and open and learn message. Okay, in another scenario, imagine that we have a nice king who wants to reward a painter and wants to send a message using messenger to treasure. But how this treasure can make sure about the integrity of this message? This, for example, if a king says that give him 10 coins, then the messenger can change it to 20 coins and take 10 for himself. So to solve this problem, crypto again proposed signature schemes, which again has three algorithms of keygen, signing, and verification. King, as a signer, signs a message and gives to messenger. Messenger gives it to verifier, and then verifier just checks the message and signature and verifies, either accepts or rejects. In another scenario, we have a central bank which is run by, which is managed by a nice lady. But there are some other banks who want to send their transactions to the central bank in order to get the order of to run an algorithm and get the order of their transactions. Okay, these are the scenarios that I explained, but for the first one, I have one more clear example, which is voting. In voting systems, we put our votes in a ballot, but then the only person who can open this box is the person who has the secret key. And he is the decryption algorithm, basically. And then what if this person is not so nice and doesn't want to open the box? And in the next scenario, what if we do not have a kind king and we have a bad king who signs the death message of an innocent? And in the last scenario, what if we have a malicious central bank who just ordering transactions correctly, colludes with bank B and says that, okay, I'm going to put your transaction at the beginning of order, then your transaction will be settled soon. But here, you see that we have trust issues. The solution is MPC, multi-party computation. We have several parties in multi-party computation. We have several parties who are willing to evaluate a function with their secret inputs. No one should learn anything about the other party's input, and the only thing that they can learn is the output of the function. Here you can see that the secret is shared among the parties. And now you may ask that how it is shared. A very basic version is we have a secret key, which we just split it in 3 pieces, give one piece to each party. And then, and this phase is called sharing phase. And then all the parties should come together in the reconstruction phase in order to be able to reconstruct the secret. This is good because each party needs just to store one share. But it is not robust, unfortunately, because if one of those parties die, or I don't know, if he just lost her secret, then the secret will not be able to be reconstructed. The next one, which is more robust, is trivial secret sharing. Imagine that we have again the secret, we split it in 2 pieces, but we give each party 2 pieces. So with this solution, which is called replicated secret sharing, each 2 parties are able to reconstruct the secret. You see? Then we do not need 3 of them for sure. Have to be there. Just each 2 can reconstruct it. This is robust, but the bad thing about it is that parties need to store more shares. How we can achieve the best of both worlds? Shamir does it. Shamir secret sharing is secret sharing based on the very basic math. We all know from high school or secondary school that there are unlimited lines which go through, passes from one point. But if we have 2 points, then just one line can go through both of those points. Now I am going to make it a little bit more clear by an example. Imagine that we have 3 parties and one is malicious. So what Shamir says that in Shamir phase, which is run by a trusted dealer, you pick a function of degree t, because t is the number of malicious party. So you pick a function with degree t and set the constant term of it to s, and then evaluate this function with the index of parties and send to them. Then each two of those parties, evaluate and send to them, and then each two of those parties are able to reconstruct secret. In general, it says if we have N and T, and T malicious party, so we need to take a function with degree T and evaluate, and then we are sure that T plus 1 party should be there to reconstruct the secret. Okay. Coming back to the MPC, so we now know that how we can share the data, but as a real life applications, like we have bad guys, like we call them adversary. But this adversary can be semi-honest, which means he just follows the protocol, but he's curious to learn more information. In this case, if our protocol is secure against this kind of this kind of adversary, we say our protocol is passive secure. And there is also another adversary, which is called malicious adversary, which can do any arbitrary things, crazy things. So if a protocol is secure against malicious adversary, then we can say that our protocol either achieves active security with abort, which means that if someone doing something wrong, then the honest parties will realize and abort. But in the second version, robust active security, or it is also called guaranteed output delivery case, we say that our protocol is secure, and in this case, the honest parties will realize something is going wrong, and they can reconstruct the malicious party's secret and continue the computation till the end and get the correct output. Okay, there are some known MPC protocols like SPITS, BGW, Fluid MPC, and in the paper which were included to my thesis are using SPITS. Okay, let's go back to our scenarios. How MPC applies on them. The first one, encryption scheme, can be solved by threshold decryption. We want to distribute power. Secret key is your power. Where in the algorithms that we are using secret key or we have power, we should distribute that algorithm. So we have threshold decryption, which has DKG and threshold decryption, but encryption remains same as before. We have threshold signatures, we can just say that several parties have to sign it, not just one bad king can sign it. And we distribute DKG and threshold signing as well here. And in the last scenario, basically, we can use multi-party computation, which means that the banks themselves can just run this algorithm between themselves and get the output. There are 6 papers included to my thesis, and I am going to talk about these 3 ones. And first, I will start by private liquidity matching using MPC. This paper was along with a project that we conducted for European Central Bank. In the bank payment systems, there is a problem which is called gridlock problem. Imagine that Bank A wants to send 15 euros to Bank B, but she just has 10 euros, so she's not able to do that. But on the other hand, if she gets this 25 euros that she's supposed to get from Bank C, then she will be able to do. This is the case for the other parties, the other Bank B and Bank C as well. In this case, we say the system has enough money, but parties individually don't. This problem is solved in the RTGS systems using some algorithms. I will not talk about them in deep. Real time means in this system, transactions are settled immediately and individually. So this is very similar to a scenario that we heard from the beginning of the presentation. You see that here, just in this case, algorithm is RTGS. Central bank runs RTGS and gives the order of transactions to the banks. But we said that this has trust issue. Then European Central Bank wanted to know that can we mitigate trust on central bank, and we answered it positively using MPC. In the paper, we have 3 scenarios, 3 algorithms for SODO algorithm, SODS, and SSCS. We assume that each transaction has source, destination, and amount. In the first one, SODO, just amount is hidden. In the second one, amount and destinations are hidden. But in the third one, source, destination, and amount are hidden. You can see even from this plot that the first 2 ones are practical, even for a higher number of transactions. The colors shows the number of transactions, which I wrote on top, M equal to 10, which means we have 10 transactions, and the x-axis shows the number of parties, and y-axis shows time. So the first 2 algorithms are very practical and doable, but the third one is practical for very less transactions, like 10 or for higher than that, we couldn't kind of simulate it. Okay, let's go through the second paper, VSS paper. Okay, in Shamir, we saw that the sharing phase of Shamir is run by a trusted dealer. How we can, what if some malicious party is sharing it? So in order to just avoid having this trust, in order to mitigate this trust, verifiable secret sharing schemes were proposed. Verifiable secret sharing scheme has 3 main constructions, 3 main algorithms of sharing, verification, and reconstruction. Before going through the paper, I need just to say a few words about, some backgrounds of this VSS that I am going to talk about. Okay, commitment schemes. Commitment schemes are two phases schemes. At the first phase, a committer puts her secret in a box and commits to her secret, and then a verifier checks either this is correct or not and verifies it, and then after a specific time, committer should open her secret. The security requirement of this scheme is that it should be hiding, which means that this box shouldn't reveal anything about the secret inside, and it should be binding. It means when we open the box, it should not be possible to get another S. It should be the same S that we committed. Also, we have additive homomorphic commitment. What does it mean? It means that if we have 2 commits, multiply them together, the result commit will contain the addition of the original messages. Peterson commitment is similar, it is an example for additive homomorphic commitment, which says that the Peterson commitment is G to the power of F, H to the power of R. And if we multiply 2 Peterson commitments, then the result will be the addition of that. Okay, since I'm going to compare our VSS with Peterson VSS, so let's see what Peterson VSS does. We want to share a secret between parties, and we want to consider the scenario that dealer is malicious. So Peterson at the beginning Peterson with n party, which T of them are malicious and wants to share the secret S, then it says that we need to sample two functions. For the first one, f, we should put the constant term, set the constant term of it as to secret, and then evaluate both functions, and then commit to the coefficients of those functions using the Peterson commitment. And then we publish these commitments and send fi and ri, the evaluation, the shares from both functions to the parties. Then parties, just by some multiplication, because it is additive homomorphism, it has additive homomorphism property, so by just multiplying these commits to each other, then they can check if they got correct shares or not. But if someone is not happy with her share, then she just complains and dealer opens her secrets. And the other party can check her secrets and either judge that who is cheating, who is malicious. Okay. About our VSS. Our VSS is basically, we propose the first practical hash-based post-quantum VSS. And in our VSS, up to step 3 is the same as Peterson. We sample two functions, evaluate them, but then we also sample two randomnesses of yi and yi prime, and then commit to them. But this commitment, we commit to them by, in our paper, we instantiated this commitment with hash. And we commit to RIs and FIs using the randomnesses of yi and yi prime. And then feed these commits to a hash random oracle and get challenge of D. And open Zx equal to Rx plus DFX. This doesn't reveal anything. This is basically information theoretical SQ. Then, okay. And then sends commits to the verifiers, and verifiers, by just some checking, can verify their shares. And the same as Peterson, if they have any problem or complaint, then the other dealer will reveal her or his secret, and the other should decide who is cheater. Okay, and even we showed that we can avoid this yi and remove these randomnesses yi and yi prime if S itself has enough entropy. And one of my co-authors showed that even these commits that I showed you, the commit to Ri and commit to Fi, can be kind of merged after removing these yi's and yi prime. Okay, I will not explain all of them, but just verification. For example, in our verification, in our VSS verification, we need to do one polynomial evaluation plus 3 hash. But in Peterson, it needs T exponentiations, which usually this T is equal to half of the number of parties. So you see that our verification is really considerably faster. And then our sharing is, again, faster because we have 2n hash, but it has a 1n exponentiation. But in communication, we are a little slower. In private communication, we have less communication, but in broadcasting, we are basically increasing a little bit communication size. And we are also not IT unpredictable because we are computationally post-quantum secure. Maybe this one will show more clearly, and in this plot, I show that the overhead that we pay to achieve verifiability in Peterson and compare to our VSS. In the left side, you can see if these are scaled by Shamir. If Shamir is 1, at some point, for example, with 32 number of participants, if Shamir is 1, ours is 2.55, but Peterson is about 80. So you see that how big are the gaps. And in the right-hand side, you can see the plot, which is, because it's compare verification, and Shamir doesn't have verification, so we scaled it with our VSS verification. If you can see that, for example, at some point, even we can have ours is one, but Shamir has 470. So one of the applications for VSS is DKGs. Peterson used his DKG to construct a robust DKG for himself. The Peterson VSS to construct the Peterson DKG, to compute G to the power of SK. And we did kind of the same, but Peterson uses the Peterson VSS, but we are using our new VSS. And then maybe you will ask that, okay, in VSS you said that we have a dealer and several parties, but here is distributed key gen, so it should be distributed. How? Okay, then I will say that basically we assume that first I am dealer, you are verifier, I share a secret among all of us, among you, and then once, in the second time, you are like dealer and we all are verifier. And like this, we can make it like distributed, and at the end we need just to add all the shares that we got from all the parties together and achieve the share from a secret which nobody knows about it. And computation cost in Peterson DKG is O of n2 exponentiation, but in our case is O of n exponentiation. And communication costs are the same, you can see. Okay, this DKG is the application of tertiary signatures. And in tertiary signatures, there is a tertiary signature which proposed by Gennaro et al., which is robust. And we wanted just to revisit as well, because it uses Peterson DKG to generate G to the power of SK with all the parties. So we proposed a new robust tertiary signature using our DKG. In the next step, it has distributed signing with the subset of parties, qualified set of parties. And also we have distributed signing. And since our both tertiary signatures are like based on Schnorr signature, so our verifications remains the same as Schnorr verification. And the costs are just follows the DKG's cost in both sides. Okay, let's move to the next one. C#, C-fish with sharing friendly keys. In order to go through that, I need to explain a little bit about a very high-level idea of isogenies. After Shor's attack on like discrete log problem, a factorization problem, and they said that if quantum computers, in the presence of quantum computers, these discrete logarithm systems protocols may not remain secure. So a lot of research directions started to be activated. One of them are like a lattices code based, and one of them are isogenies. And in this thesis, we have kind of several protocols in isogenies. We are working in hard homogeneous spaces, and in this space, if a set of E equipped with a group action by a group G, which means that if we pick an element from a set, a group G, And then if we acted on a curve from a set, it will go to another curve in the same set. And this star means group action. If G is cyclic of order n, then we can define that, we can define G to the power of A star E is equal to bracket notation of A, E. And we have some hard assumptions. The first one is vectorization problem. The first one is vectorization problem or group action inverse problem. And this is analogous to discrete log problem. It says that if we have AE, finding A is difficult. The other one is multi-target gate, which says that if we have K different curves with K different secrets inside, and then finding the differences between those secrets are difficult. The last one is vectorization problem with auxiliary input, which says that if we have CIAE, I mean K different curves, but with one secret and like I don't know the word, multiplication of them. I mean CIA. If we have them, and these CIs are public and chosen from an exceptional set, then we say that finding A is difficult. The other one is the CSI-DHK exchange that I want to talk about, since we are using in this presentation. This CSI-DHK exchange is analogous to the Diffie-Hellman-Key exchange, and it says that, imagine Alice and Bob want to achieve a same secret, a same key. Then what they do is that Alice applies her secret on a base curve E and sends it to Bob. And then Bob applies his secret on a new curve that he got from Alice. And the same for Bob. And at the end of the day, they both will have EAB. Okay. Isogeny-based cryptography is divided in two main branches, SIDH and CSIDH. SIDH was broken by a key recovery attack, but SIDH is still alive. And based on CSIDH, there was the first practical signature which was proposed by Frey et al. And it is called C-fish signature. And based on this C-fish signature, there are several threshold protocols, like passive threshold protocol, active threshold protocol, which is called sashimi, and robust DKG for CSIDH, which is called Sirashi. C-fish, the public key of C-fish has like K different curves with K different secret keys. But then when we wanted to kind of, like when we were looking to these threshold protocols, we realized that these protocols based on C-fish, their DKGs are really, really slower than their distributed signing. So, and also we know that there is a paper which is, which proposes structured public keys with this structure of CIXEI. So we thought that, can we use this structured public key in C-fish? And then it led to having C-shark. C-shark is C-fish with sharing-friendly keys. There is always a bigger fish. It's written there. Yeah, and then C-shark is sharing-friendly because it really shows its potential in the threshold version of that. It is as efficient as C-fish, and it has also a single secret key. As a contribution of this paper, we showed that sashimi is not threshold secure, and it is full threshold secure. And then we revisited all those papers, all those protocols, threshold protocols based on C#. Okay, here, if I want to talk about the performance of threshold signatures and leakages in C#, I should mention that, for example, in the bottom one, it is for threshold version. The top one is a full threshold. And in Shamir version, for example, we have communication. You can see that C# communication is just half kilobyte, but C-fish-based communications are like 34 megabyte. And also, it's our secret is very smaller than C-fish-based ones. And I said that the discrete DKG of C-fish is slower than its signing. In our case, it's just 7 times slower, not very much. And then about the DKGs, here you can see that in order to generate 2 to the power of 4 public keys with 8 parties, C-fish-based DKGs need 2.9 minutes to generate that amount of public key, but ours need 85 seconds. So we showed that threshold and non-threshold version of these isogeny-based protocols are practical, but using the multi-core CPUs, because we had a lot of optimizations in the paper as well. Okay, and then I should mention that, maybe first I should mention that, our VSS could have a big impact because it is a major component in different cryptographic protocols, in a lot of cryptographic protocols. And you saw it's like how it worked in DL-based and how was it showed its performance in DL-based. So here we also could, in isogeny-based like DKGs and threshold signatures, we could use its performance as well. So based on our VSS, we proposed a new version of the structured Sirachi that we had in C#, which is very fast, and it's structured Sirachi ++ DKG. Here are the plots from about our results that we have, but this black one, you can see that in the left, we have computational cost, in the right, communicational cost. You can see that the black ones which are for this VSS paper, the performance of this VSS paper are always less than the others. So it's cool, it shows that it's cool. And then using this structured Sirachi ++, and using this structured Sirachi ++ and active full threshold signature, we propose one robust, active, secure threshold signature, which is called Threshold Shark, and it stands for Threshold Efficient Robust CSI Shark. Okay, the first 6 papers are included to my thesis. The first one was a tool for MPC. The second one and third one I covered. The fourth one was DKG that we proposed, and it is also in isogeny base, and it is an intermediate step between the 3rd and 5th papers. And the 5th one I covered. The 6th one, the 6th one was the paper that basically I used our Threshold Shark that I mentioned now, this threshold signature, and proposed 2 versions of identity-based threshold signatures. One is the active secure with abort, and the other one is robust. but I didn't talk about it in this presentation. The last one is also not included to the paper, to the thesis, but this is very cool paper, which is about verifiable FHE and using lattice space. And thank you.
Thank you.